Happy Saturday, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang Weekend Workshop, where you'll learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I'll be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of this Satsang session. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is in inner satsang, where we meditate in silence. Group session. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there will be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
So happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we're here in Satsang. So time to relax and refresh and calm down. So talking about calming down, I was actually listening to some Zen stories this morning, and one of them actually talked about a Zen master who was who was when he became famous, one of the folks goes to visit him, and this person was like all of us. Like I think the monkey mind slide, I think, is the most um, of all everything that I have talked about, the monkey mind slide people just relate to so very well, it seems. So this person was also like that. It's like he um, it was so um, like there was so much turmoil, and it was almost as though the entire world was bullying him, and his inner state was affected by that. So he reaches out to this Zen master, and talks about like how his life has been, and he really wants to learn to calm his mind, and uh, what um, so somehow in this uh, the Zen master talks to him about a river that is running in a deep forest, and it's very there is a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of rip currents, and so literally that river um, is kind of depicting this person's mind. Um, so, fast moving, a lot of rip currents, a lot of, waves that are just dangerous. And then, there is, so the Zen master describes a oak tree right next to this river, which kind of quote unquote is watching this river, but is has deep roots. So all these currents and the water, that's running so fast and all that is not affecting this tree. It's been there for ages, and then the branches are all flourishing, and and with age it's actually uh, becoming more and more mature. So then the Zen master talks about how this river kind of depicts his inner this person's inner world or inner situation. And then he describes the oak tree has deep roots, which he kind of related with inner strength and resilience. So those deep roots kind of give this tree the ability to stand within this turmoil, or um, surrounded by turmoil, but not affecting the tree. And then the branches, he says, are wisdom and compassion. So the roots that tree is standing on is inner strength and resilience, and the branches of the tree are wisdom and compassion. So interestingly, even that river, which is um, very turbulent, but is actually this tree is getting the water through the roots, and so those inner strengths and resilience is what this tree stands on. And then um, literally kind of with wisdom and compassion, it kind of you go out and literally help yourself and others. um, So that was interesting. And then there was another one which I think that reminded me of one of the stories my father used to tell, um, that there is a pond, and till there are ripples in the pond, you cannot see yourself or anything else. But as soon as the ripples in the pond get quietened, you know, when there are no ripples in the water, then you can see yourself in it. You can see the flowers, the trees, the moon, and even the sun in that water. So, so the thing is that uh, in if the mind is full of these ripples of thoughts, then we are not able to perceive either the world or ourselves properly. And and then once the ripples die down, you know, literally, quote unquote, the self-realization comes. Um, so those were the two things. Actually, there were a bunch of others, but I think these I thought for today I'll share. Um, and there was another thing, uh, in terms of you know how um, you know and I have talked about this several times. It's like um, there is uh, we ought to become more like a candle that is lit and then can light other candles, rather than I think it was uh, somewhere in, I don't know which context, but there could be hundreds of thousands of candles just there, but one candle which uh, is once one candle is lightened, then the rest could follow. Otherwise, um, you know there could be so many candles, but not a single one that is lit. So anyway, um, so let's get into the practice, so that we can get the ripples out of this pond that we have, our mind. Um, Another thing I was thinking about is, we think um, about mindfulness versus thought-free state of mind. And for some reason, I was thinking about, like, when, say, if you're doing something very intense, like preparing for a test, or you have to take a break. You have to you take learn a lot, and then you either take a walk or sleep over it. And that, neuroscience is showing that is actually a requirement, so that your neurons can, adjust um, and reconnect, based on the new things that you have learned. Um, so it is essential to so we understand a lot about physical exercises, but what about mental exercises? You have to um, do some mentally strenuous activities, and then take some time to rest your mind. And one of the things that we have been talking about recently is, like, what is rest of the mind? And research is showing that when you physically rest, your mind is not necessarily resting. And when you're playing music, when you're meditating, when you're doing something with concentration, that's when your mind actually rests. So, uh, so meditation is part of that resting um, cycle. So use your brain the way you need to use for, better part of the day, even 23 hours, but at least take 15 to 30 minutes or an hour, maybe broken into two, morning and evening, um, to rest your brain. You know, it pays dividends in the sense that, what you have learned, what you have, um, even the negative energies and other things that have clouded the mind, you can get grounded again. You can get your mind to be, um, you know, cleansed in a way, so as to refresh, regain perspective. Um, so, so this slide basically talks about, Ashtang Yoga, which Maharishi Patanjali, one of the founding fathers of yoga philosophy, um, pulled together a framework of 8 limbs. So if yoga was a body, then 8 limbs would make the whole thing, and all the variations in yoga philosophy. They talk about, these 8 limbs in slightly different context, or they emphasize some, and some limbs are less, but they ought to have these 8 limbs. And Guru Maharaj used to say that all these 8 limbs, like in our body, they need to evolve together. So your physical wellness, your behavior, which is asanas and pranayams and yam and niyam, those are behavioral aspects and well-being aspects. Those need to be there. But then these four, which are on the screen, they are the meditative aspects, which are important for your mental and spiritual well-being. And so we start with inward orientation and concentration, and that leads to meditation and higher consciousness. So for inward orientation, eyes lightly closed, and still and relaxed posture. Both of those things basically reduce the distraction of the mind and let us focus. And what do we focus on? So um, we try to focus on or manifest transcendental energy in form of light. We can take any source that we believe in, and that source full of this transcendental energy in form of light. That light is entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are getting totally and completely immersed in this light. When mind wanders away, which it will, again, another aspect of inward orientation, you bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that you're observing this transcendental energy in form of light. That light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are getting completely and totally immersed in this light. You're becoming the light. So if you do other things like mantras and meditation, other forms like mindfulness or chanting or other things, you do it before or after. And, this process will help you there as well. But for now, just focus on observing this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. We'll start with music. Music fades away, and then we go in deep, silent meditation, and then transition out with music again. Let's start. Happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. You know, this whole concept of, gaining inner strength and resilience, or standing on those and then have the branches of wisdom and compassion. I think that's the thought for today. Hello, Apurva.
नमस्कार चाचा।
Namaskar. So, Rich, Eddie, Steve, hello, AC. Hey there.
Hey there. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Nice background.
Yes. Yes. I spoke to our friend Demont yesterday.
Yeah, he called me. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, but thank you for once again for allowing me to participate. It centers me.
No, you always welcome.
Thank you.
Totally. I actually appreciate that.
Mm.
It's interesting, it's like um it's like my workout routine that never happens, right? I mean, it's valuable, but things come in the way. Yeah.
That's absolutely necessary. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Arvindji, how are you?
Namaskar, bhaiya. Namaskar, everyone. Happy Saturday. By Guru Maharaj's grace, your blessing, all good. So happy to join.
So, anything from that, the last article that you were looking at?
Oh, yeah. You kindly asked me, and I mean, every article and everything I read, shall I say, it's like lighting a candle in front of the sun, Guru Maharaj, and you are the sun. And I'm trying to show my little candle knowledge of light. So what can I say? Everything you say is exactly in that article. Mindfulness you've mentioned, and that's at a lower level. This satsang that we are fortunate to be part of is so deep that it affects the psyche in a very positive way. And as you rightly said, the mind is affected. The deeper you go, you drop the external noise, you drop the external activities, and then you gain a positive benefit. And it's neurochemical in nature. And it's been proven by many research studies, including electrophysiological studies, brain scanning studies, and behavioral studies. And as you rightly said before, it impacts on a person's mood. It takes depression away. It's a cure literally for depression. So if it's done properly, it improves mood and takes away anxiety, which is a big thing. That's all the studies say, and they just cite many references, but it all comes down to what you've been saying. So thank you.
No, so just curious. So worry and anxiety, I understand, or, suddenly it dawned on me that, from that 18th chapter out of the 7-volume book of Guru Maharaj, when I was looking at the mysteries of peace, right? So I went there to looking for the definition of peace, and then I found like treasure trove of other things. But is so there, if you can come to the present moment, and that mindfulness provides, that mantras provide. So coming to the present moment is one aspect. And when you come to the present moment, you're not in the past or future. So the worry and anxiety are because of, things in the past, or the worry for the future, kind of, looking at various outcomes that are mostly negative and all that. So that sort of rumination, I think, if you avoid, and hence when you go to thought-free state, um, you get to a state where worry and anxiety cannot exist, because the vehicle through which you go to the past or future is not there. But then I wonder, how would this apply, or what? Because depression is more about your, um, how you perceive yourself, or uh, probably not in a positive way. So I think maybe, I mean, if off the cuff, if you um, remember anything, share. But otherwise, I think look into that aspect. So how do you? Um, I think there is a connection, but maybe look into it more deeply in terms of how depression, where you are not looking at yourself in the right frame of mind. So how does meditation help? Maybe.
Yes. I need to look into it deeper, but I can just briefly speculate that the neurochemical changes that happen with meditation, the amygdala, which is a very noisy part of the brain, the limbic system, which creates all sorts of uh, affective feelings about oneself, that is temporized, or that through this level of deep meditation, and through the transcendental energy that comes in this particular type of meditation, there is actually evidence on functional MRI scans that the prefrontal cortex, which determines and balances out, sort of allows us to make judgments, decisions about everything, including ourselves and our behavior. Well, the prefrontal cortex is thicker, if you will. It's more volume to the prefrontal cortex in people who have deep vipassana medication, which is Buddhist medication, as you know, and and this Ashtanga yoga, which Guru Maharaj you say about this level of meditation has been shown, demonstrated without doubt, that the prefrontal cortex region of the brain is periorbital. Prefrontal cortex is thicker in volume. And conversely, in people who are severely depressed, people who use heavy alcohol, people who have history of other, faulty behaviors in their life and have no meditation, it's thinner. So if you had a Gaussian distribution of standard deviation, you could clearly see the group that has been depressed without meditation, has had behavioral issues, maybe alcohol issues. Their prefrontal cortex, which is judgment and decision-based area, is thinner, and the group that do vipassana, do deep transcendental meditation, their prefrontal cortex is high volume, suggesting therefore that the judgment decision is better, which Guru Maharaj says the word, um, forgetting, I'm missing the word, so I'll leave it to you, Maharaj. Yeah, but this is again like a little candle in front of sunshine. That's Guru Maharaj. What is it that people like me, who sit in front of the YouTube, and experience the Satsang, experience your presence, Amit Bhaiya, Sanjeev Bhaiya this morning, Mohit Bhaiya, I was watching at this Pandara. What is it that what is that? That's beyond any medical science. I'm gonna put my, uh, you know, by Papaji's grace, I joined medicine 1976. So it's a few years ago now. But I've seen nothing that can compare. I cannot explain. So I humbly say thank you, and we are very fortunate. Thank you.
So Steve, you unmuted. Happy.
I think I have a bad connection this morning, so I'm just tinkering around. But that was wonderful, Arvind. I just I enjoy coming here every day. That we can meet. It's just a tremendous source of positive energy. I read a couple things this week. One was the World Happiness Report. And it talked about how in the United States, for the first time, we've fallen out of the top 20 in terms of world happiness. And there was an op-ed written by Chris Murphy, who's a politician, and he talked about how there's so many economic indicators that are flashing green. Inflation is slowing, GDP is up. There's all of these positive trends happening.
No. Technical difficulties. Steve, we can't hear you now.
About to find that positivity, to be engaged in our communities and connect. And so it kind of goes back to what you said on Tuesday. Happiness is all within us. We should never lose that happiness based on what's happening around us.
Yeah, how they measure this happiness for these reports, I'm a skeptic. I see I mean, there must be something to it, though. But what I find is that I visit some of these, villages, rural countryside, and it's not affluent at all, and but people are more content than what I will see in New York. It's like people are running, rushing, and next month. So the entire month, I want to talk about the 5 steps again, the pyramid, and uh, what takes us there, or what does it look like to, what's the journey like? So yeah. Fascinating. So Eddie, what's the wrap up for today?
A lot of a lot of good information was exchanged today. But I think the thing that ties it all together is what you said earlier, and that is that we have to maintain this sort of balance in our lives. And when we do that, if we use the example you talked about, the metaphor of the calming of the pond, when we balance our in and our ang energies throughout the day, we maintain that point of equilibrium. The surface of the pond is very calm, and we can see our reflection in it, and we can see the world around us. When we achieve that state throughout the day, at the end of the day, when we come home, we're still energized, we're not tired. We can manifest things like compassion and wisdom. We can, we basically become examples of this inner strength that is within us as well. So it's kind of the maintaining of that. Now, when we practice satsang, um, it happens. That's part of the process. That calming of the pond will come, right? But during the day when we're working, we can't sit down for 15 minutes, and we're affected by the environment around us. And so um, we tend to do things like become frustrated, upset, and angry, and we hold that tension within us, and we never take the time to just relax. And so, my suggestion would be is that throughout the day, just take that minute or 2 minutes during your periods of rest and just relax for a minute. Take a few breaths, relaxing breaths, inhale, exhale, just calm down and try to maintain that state of balance. Because at the end of the day, when you go home, you'll find yourself having a lot more energy than you did when you didn't sort of practice that balancing of energy throughout the day. And basically, in other words, people, they start out their day, they go to work, and they just feel so frustrated and they're tense throughout the entire day. They go home and they're exhausted. And so, what I'm saying is, if you want to combat that um, throughout the day, just take a minute, 30 seconds, or whatever during your periods of rest, whenever you have that opportunity, and just exhale and relax. And you'll find that you have more energy throughout the day, and also when you go home. And I give a sort of an example of an experience that I had when I practiced martial arts. I think most people are familiar with martial arts and the forms. They're very fast movements, right? Very explosive movements. There's also internal styles like Tai Chi Chuan, but I'm not talking about, I'm talking about Wushu. So it's like very hard forms, right? Very explosive, very powerful movements. And so at the end of at the end of a 2 or 3 minute form, you're typically exhausted, right? You want to sit down and just take a break because you're exhausted. I had the experience one time, just one time only, is where because the forms are structured so that they're very yang, and then they have the moments of in. So throughout the form, you have an opportunity to master the balance of the ang and the yin. And just one time and one time only, I was actually able to do that. It just happened, really. I didn't have much to do with it. It just happened where throughout the 2 minute, 3 minute form, um, where I had explosive moments of energy and force, I also was able to calm my mind and have rest periods. And so I was balanced throughout the whole thing internally balanced throughout the whole thing. While on the exterior, I was moving and flowing and using force and energy and all these things. But at the end of the form, I had, I wasn't exhausted. I had energy and I felt good. remain calm inside and manifest compassion and wisdom and peace and all those other things. And at the end of the day, go home feeling great. And so, by practicing satsang, we achieve this through the help of Guru Maharaj and Sanjeevji. But throughout the day, we